Subscribing to The Observer on YouTube couldn't be easier, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that. First, navigate to www.youtube.com/theobservernj. Once you get there, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button. Next to the subscribe button, click the down arrow and then all. And that's it. You're subscribed, and now anytime The Observer is live, you will be notified. Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you live from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the 27th day of May in the year 2025. Sure hope you're all enjoying your Tuesdays, no matter where it is you are in the country here in the Northeast. It's a beautiful day, and who better to talk about the weather with than the one and only and the incomparable Tony Mondero of the Harrison Weather Center. He joins us as he does every Tuesday. Tony, good afternoon, brother.
I'll tell you, people who watch this week to week will think that they're watching the same show. As we say, more rounds of rain into the weekend.
Another round of rain. Oh, God. So what's the bad news? Let's hear it.
Well, today is not bad. So any after-school plans, anybody going outside today, probably the warmest day of the week. High temperatures in some places could even maybe achieve the low 80s by the end of the day. Right now, we're, looking at the old thermometer, almost 77 degrees. That's as long as the sea breeze doesn't kick in either. We don't get an east wind, because an east wind will kind of back the temperature down by maybe 5 to 7 degrees if that happens. But if it doesn't, if it's delayed, maybe temperature's close to 80. And then another weather system comes up from the south, Kevin. It looks like in the overnight and tomorrow. Looks like the heaviest rains tomorrow, the steadiest rains tomorrow afternoon into Thursday morning, then showery right through the first half of the weekend once again. Now, this could change, because remember, last week we kind of, for the Memorial Day Parade in Kearney, kind of tapered off a little bit. And then on Saturday, it got more improvement, and Sunday more improvement. So a lot of times, check back at the Harrison Weather Center for any changes. High temperatures today, like I said, once again, in the upper 70s, low 80s. And for the rest of the week, temperatures in the 70s on Thursday, but tomorrow only in the 60s. And in the 70s again, once again on Friday and also Saturday. No major storms are on tap, thankfully. Just some rain. And so far this month, we're almost approaching 5 inches of rain. Good news is that we're off the drought monitor now for our area.
Yeah.
There's no more. That's a bit of good news. But surrounding us, there are still drought conditions. But I think that will improve in the weeks to come as well.
If you're just joining us, Tony Mondero's just dropped the news again. We got another not so nice week again. Tone, one thing that has been pretty good, though, take the weather out of the picture, is our favorite baseball team. Did you get a chance to watch anything over the weekend?
Well, everything over the weekend was on either Apple TV or ESPN or Fox. So we didn't have Gary, Keith, and Ron.
Yeah.
I got to catch it. Well, it was the Friday night game I was listening to, and too bad we couldn't. That was a tough loss too. You had them right where you wanted them to try to beat the Dodgers Friday night. The bases loaded. We couldn't cash in, but and last night too, the bitter end we had to wait until they beat the White Sox. I think we're 11 or 12 games above 500. And now we have these weaker teams, so it's time to fatten up a little bit before the competition gets stiffer again.
Yeah, they were just talking about that this morning, about the next 16 or so games. They have to go at least 10-6, if not better, when you consider who they're playing. And I'll tell you what, the fact that I was a little getting on the edge yesterday, being down 1-0 for as long as they were with the Chicago White Sox. But my God, what a mess that is. But they're not even the worst team in baseball. That honor goes to the Colorado Rockies, who are on pace to outdo last year's White Sox team. You imagine being that bad, Tone?
And they're next, right after these White Sox come in. Now we deal with the Colorado Rockies, and then competition gets stiffer as we go out to LA to play a series. Congratulations to the New York Knicks for getting to the next round of the playoffs, basketball. Yeah. And they did salvage Game 3, which was good. And hats off to Lisa. Her Yankees did beat our Mets. So that
Yeah.
happens. That was last week.
Yep.
But yeah,
So what else is going on? Everything else good?
everything else is fine. For those who follow us, we did have a failure at one of our weather stations last Thursday. Catastrophic failure too. We think we might have found a part in Maryland for it. Now we have to wait for a tech to come over. And we got our money's worth out of that station, Kevin. The station was um, nearly 24 years old, so it was about time. And one of the cards or one of the things up in the temperature monitor up there kind of gave us an issue and brought the whole weather station down. But they're backups. So we posted those links on Facebook, and we do have several backups here. And good news of the day, too, the National Weather Service paid us a visit earlier for our annual stations, cooperative weather station inspection, and we passed. So we were very, very happy about that.
Oh, good. I just hope you weren't depending on any money coming in from the National Weather Service because it doesn't seem like they'll be giving out too much of it.
No,
Well,
thankfully, they haven't really touched the local offices as far as personnel is concerned. And I'll tell you, our weather service costs us about the price of a cup of coffee for us each year, like $5 a year, and they are really good people. And I would say, me, Kev, some have called me a walking editorial. I would tell you that if there was any issues at the National Weather Service, and there's none. They're very hard-working men and women over there, trying to give us the best of the weather and best of weather forecasts. And if anything, they'll tell you over the years, Democrat or Republican, their budgets have been slashed, and they try to do it with bare bones. And we have other countries that have a much better computer modeling and much better computer operations, and we got to throw some of that money into doing that next time the Weather Service gets a little push on funding.
how does that happen? How do you go about getting the message across that there's a need for more funding for the NWS?
Well, that's kind of hard to do because what happens is you have all these cuts, and yeah, there's a lot of waste in the government, but it's not coming from NOAA or the National Weather Service. Uh, it's just we need to be supportive of that because without that information that we all utilize, all across all platforms of all media, we couldn't do a weather forecast. All the information. Tony Mondero hasn't launched a satellite. We don't launch weather balloons. We don't have computer models here that we've made. We use all information from third party and from the government, from the Weather Service. So it really needs to be supported.
Remarkable. On our way out here, doesn't look like a good week necessarily, but toward the end of the week, we might get some better, something a little bit better toward the weekend. Just to recap a little bit, Tone.
Yeah, sure. And to recap everybody, it looks like your afternoon is fine. You're going to tomorrow, you get some showers, especially in the afternoon and evening, first part of Thursday. More steadier showers, that is, and then showery on Thursday, Friday, into Saturday. It won't be raining all the time once again. Your warmest day is today, near 80 degrees, in the 60s tomorrow, and we top off in the low to mid 70s for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with overnight low temperatures in the 60s. And I'm sure Kevin will like me to tell everybody too to like and subscribe because without you, we don't have a broadcast, and we really appreciate you watching me and also Kevin. And Kevin, have a great program this afternoon. I'm sure you have a load of information to give us. I know I'm stuck on it every week. I need to hear my news.
Thank you, Tony. And remember, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good day. We'll catch you next week.
Catch you later, Tony. There he is, the incomparable, the one and only Tony Mondero of the Harrison Weather Center. He joins us every Tuesday to talk about the weather, and it looks like we're going to get another crappy week. I don't know. I don't know. This just has been the weirdest spring that I can remember in a long time, but hopefully it'll improve once we get into June. Now, this is this week's front page, and I want to talk to you a little bit about what the front page was, even though this was over a week ago. Last week, Hudson County Executive Craig Guy came into Kearney, and he announced what the 2025 open space trust fund recommendations would be for the year. Kearney is getting one major project. Harrison and East Newark are each also getting a major project that this will fund. But what I think was perhaps most that stood out the most to me was the sheer fact that, again, Craig Guy, the Hudson County executive, was here in Kearney. And this is, again, not to knock the previous Hudson County executive, Tom DeGise, but Craig Guy, since he took over a little bit more than a year ago, has spent a great deal of time in Kearney and has not forgotten this side of the river. And it is so refreshing to see because it just never really was this way for the longest time. So I know that depending, no matter where you stand on things, the truth of the matter is what Craig Guy has done has been nothing short of spectacular in a year and a half, and he remembers that we exist, and that to me is very, very important when it didn't always happen that way. And so when he was at the boathouse last week talking about the different projects that will be funded by the Open Space Trust Fund, including the boathouse right here in Kearney, which is on the other side of where you see Mayor Doyle and the county executive looking toward the other direction is where the boathouse is going to be, and the plans are great for that. None of this would be happening without him. It really wouldn't. And this all started back in 2005. It's the 20th anniversary of the Open Space Trust Fund in Hudson County, and this was also what was responsible for funding what will become the new community center once it's open and things get going over there. And this is just another example of the great things that he's doing in keeping Kearney still remembered. So if you get a chance, read the story in this week's edition. Find out more about the Open Space Trust Fund grants and the projects that will be going on in West Hudson. There are projects in every single municipality in Hudson County, but as you know, we are always concerned about what's happening here in West Hudson. So check that out in this week's edition of The Observer. Also last week, Mayor Dina Grillo. This is also a result of the Open Space Trust Fund grants. Mayor Dina Grillo in East Newark reopened Veterans Stadium or Veterans Park here. And let me tell you something. They did a tremendous job on putting this place together. And you can see the mayor's here right now speaking with a bunch of kids and parents. And that's Mike Mara over on the left-hand side of the picture looking toward Mayor Grillo. So it was a nice crowd. They put on a clinic for the kids to get a better sense of how to use the field and things of that nature. But it's unintentional that these are all connected to what we were talking about earlier, but this was just a very, very nice afternoon where families came together, kids came together, and they celebrated the reopening of the park. And it really is something to behold. All of these new parks that are being funded have been nothing short of tremendous. And here's just another picture of Mike Mara, who was offering clinics for the youngsters that day over in East Newark. And now, the final big story of today was when Mayor Robert Giangeruso and his team were sworn in. It was a week ago that they were sworn in, and he will serve with his teammates another 4-year term in Lyndhurst. There is a newcomer, David Mateen, who is now on the Board of Commissioners as well. And the election a couple of weeks ago was pretty strong turnout for his team. Of course, they all get nervous when it comes time for election because they're not sure what's going to happen. But when all was said and done, the vote tallies were strongly in favor of his team, and I'm sure he's going to do some great things coming up in the next 4 years. So, on behalf of all of us here at the Observer, we congratulate Mayor Giangeruso, his team, for winning, and wish them nothing but the very best in the coming year. Don't forget, we have 2 pages of classifieds. It's a lot of rentals in the paper. So if you need a place to live, make sure you check it out. If you're looking for a job, there's some pretty high-paying jobs as well in the classified section this week, so be sure to check that out. And don't forget, Jason Bernstein has sports this week as well, so you can see that at your earliest opportunity. The paper should be out already. They went to press. We went to press on Friday this week, so it was a little bit early. But the paper should be at least being distributed right now on Tuesday, so that's always good. You can get the paper a little bit earlier than usual. Now, I just want to tell you one other thing, too. For the last couple of years, we have, more or less couple of months, but over the years as well, we've been trying to convince everybody to go to our YouTube page instead of using Facebook, because of the sheer reality that Facebook videos disappear after 30 days now. We didn't want to deal with that. Now, we realized that we had to do something to make this a little bit easier. Now, if you go to theobserver.com, the most recent live video, excuse me, will be right on the homepage. It will remain there for the week, so if you miss the live broadcast, you'll be able to see it right on theobserver.com. And then when a new broadcast is coming up, it will appear in the same spot on the homepage at www.theobserver.com. From there, you can like the videos, and you can also subscribe. We were hoping everybody will at least give it a shot. We have over 11,000 followers on Facebook, but we have not even 900 on YouTube. When I tell you that it only takes a second to navigate over to the YouTube page and click the subscribe button, it really is so easy. And the best part of it is that whenever we go live, you will get a notification as well. So please do us this favor. It doesn't cost anything, just about 30 seconds of your time. Head on over to our YouTube page at youtube.com/theobservernj and subscribe to the page so that we can increase those numbers, and we can also, in doing so, increase our subscriberhood. So if you can, please take care of that when you get a chance. We would be extremely grateful if you could. And that's going to do it for this edition of the Observer Live. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and joining me today. Of course, I thank Tony Mondero of the Harrison Weather Center, who is with us each and every Tuesday. We will be back a week from today, unless something else happens during the course of the week, at which time, if it does, we will join you live with anything that is on the periphery. All right, everybody, from the newsroom of The Observer and theobserver.com, it's Kevin Canessa signing off for now, and we hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Take care and enjoy the rest of your Tuesdays. Bye-bye.